On the 21st of February 1871, the area now known as the City of Busselton was formally declared under the Municipal Institutions Act. We are 150 years old this year, a milestone we share with 5 other West Australian local governments, including the City of Bunbury. Over the last 150 years, we've grown from a ratepayer base of 100 people to the largest and fastest growing regional West Australian local government area. How we got here is an interesting story. We thought it would be fun to look back and see just how much we've changed since 1871. The City of Busselton was originally the Sussex Road District, named after the Duke of Sussex. 1 month after the Sussex Road Board was established, the municipality of Busselton was proclaimed, separating the town of Busselton from the surrounding road district. There were, in effect, 2 governing bodies for many years. The first mayor of the Sussex Road District was George Cross. Given the number of small settlements across the district and the lack of infrastructure and telegraph communications, George and his board faced many challenges. But as tough as it was, they still accomplished a great deal. The very first budget of the new Sussex Road Board allocated £240 to a network of foundation roads. Many of these roads we still use today. The Ballarat Bridge, now the Wannerup Floodgate, was built. Busselton Jetty underwent one of its first major extensions in 1875. In 1894, Busselton Railway Station was built. By the early 1900s, we'd become such a popular spot for caving, camping and seaside holidays that in the 1913 Encyclopedia of Western Australia, we featured as the most favoured place for tourists. Some things haven't changed. Over the years, there's been many defining milestones that have shaped who we are and how we look today. In the 1920s, Lock Estate was gifted to the local government, giving rise to the quintessentially unique Holy Mile. Dunsborough started to grow with its first general store opening in 1925 and the Dunsborough Bakery opening in 1930. Against this backdrop of continued growth, Council faced some big challenges. The minutes of the October 1935 board meeting recorded a ratepayer protest against the expenditure of £1,000 for the construction of new offices. However, the building proceeded, and in 1936 the new municipal office on the corner of High Street and Busselton Highway was open, complete with exciting new technology in the shape of one of the district's very first septic tanks. In 1936, the board welcomed Nina Lehman, the first female to serve on any road board in the state of Western Australia. On 18th of May 1951, the Sussex Road Board amalgamated with the municipality of Busselton to become the Busselton Road Board. Relocation of the municipal office was an item on the board's very first agenda. However, the idea of selling municipal property to finance a new civic centre still met with community resistance, and the Busselton Road Board continued to operate from locations in Prince Street and High Street for many years. One of the highlights at this time was a visit from Queen Elizabeth and the Duke of Edinburgh in March 1954. On the 1st of July 1961, the Busselton Road Board became the Shire of Busselton. Frank Joliffe was the first Shire President and Tom McCulloch the first Shire Clerk. By this time, the Holy Mile stretched almost down to Dunsborough. Dunsborough's population consisted of about 40 families, big enough for a new community hall and a primary school in 1963. The 1960s saw the beginning of the professional wine industry in the district. It also saw the birth of the southwest surfing culture, with the Yallingup surf breaks becoming a mecca for surfers. In 1967, Council secured land for a civic centre and administration building on Southern Drive, Busselton. The new building was completed and staff relocated in 1975. In the 1970s, Busselton Jetty ceased to be an operating port and the bikini culture kicked in. But in April 1978, Cyclone Alby tore out a massive section of the Busselton Jetty, leaving it in a very perilous state. The jetty was further ravaged by fire in December 1999, and at this point and for several years thereafter, its future looked very bleak. Around this time, the community enjoyed its second visit from the Queen. Other major milestones that characterise the late 80s and 90s include construction of Geograph Leisure Centre, progression of Port Geograph Marina and canal development, formalisation of our sister city relationship with Sagido, Japan, and construction of the Busselton Regional Airport. Under Shire President Wes Hartley, we saw the abolition of the ward system in 2007 and the opening of Art Geo Gallery. We also saw the future of the Busselton Jetty signed and sealed. In 2008, an agreement between the City of Busselton and the state government provided a $24 million grant toward the jetty's restoration. The city contributed several million dollars more. Former Premier Colin Barnett officially reopened the jetty on the 5th of February 2011 during a massive community gathering and fantastic firework display along the length of the jetty. The Shire of Busselton officially became a city in 2012. Ian Stubbs, who was our last Shire President 1990 to 1994, our first CEO 1994 to 1996, and our last Shire President 2009 to 2012, then became our first modern mayor, serving from 2012 to 2015. The jetty restoration project heralded the beginning of a decade of major upgrades on our key foreshore areas. We had the first of many sod-turning ceremonies on the Dunsborough foreshore, marking the commencement of the Dunsborough foreshore revitalisation project. The rebuilt Busselton jetty became the centrepiece for a major makeover of the Busselton foreshore, complete with a dedicated youth precinct, beautiful promenades and feature landscaping protected by sturdy sea walls, a new visitor centre and home for the restored Ballarat engine, an amphitheatre and playgrounds including our multi-award-winning Sea Play on the Bay. It took 10 years and around $100 million of private and government investment to turn this into this. Of course, there was a little bit of this and a whole lot of these. Through the decades, successive councils have shown remarkable vision. This has been particularly so in the last few decades, during which time we've seen rapid growth and increasing investment. Just some of the many achievements over the past decade include construction and opening of the Community Resource Centre and several library upgrades, creation of a dedicated cultural precinct and fulfilment of the Busselton Settlement Art project, the opening and continued expansion of our dual-use pathways, opening of the Busselton Waste Transfer and Recycling Centre and a whale watching platform at Point Piquet. Council also adopted the City of Busselton Reconciliation Action Plan after a long journey of consultation with local Aboriginal people. At the end of 2015, staff and council moved into dongers and temporary chambers to enable the construction of the new Civic Administration building on the Southern Drive site. Just like in 1936 and then again in 1975, there were some in the community who felt this building was an unnecessary extravagance. But for those people who worked in the old building, dodging drip buckets in the winter, working in repurposed cupboard space and car park transportables, it was entirely necessary. The new building was opened in 2017, complete with all the facilities needed for a fast-growing regional city. Over the past 5 years, we've also seen the staged upgrade of Dunsborough Town Centre to improve accessibility and to beautify the town centre. Yallingup Foreshore has been revitalised with new amenities and a nature-based playground. We've also seen significant investment in sporting facilities. Barnard Park Sports Precinct opened in 2017. The Busselton Tennis Club was relocated in 2019. We also saw a major upgrade to the courts and sports pavilion at Lou Weston Oval. Busselton Senior Citizens Building underwent a major expansion, reopening in 2020. All the while, we moved closer to realising the Busselton Foreshore Master Plan and the development of commercial entities like Shelter Brewery and the Hilton Garden Inn Hotel. On the other side of the bypass, the expansion of the Busselton Margaret River Airport continued. We're now ready to welcome interstate passengers when Jetstar commences its regular service in mid-2021. We're also hopeful of securing funding for a new terminal, secure in the knowledge that this fabulous community asset is also strategically important for the state government. The airport services Western Australia's largest regional FIFO workforce. It's also an essential base for emergency service aircraft, including the large aircraft tankers which play a vital role in defending Western Australian communities from bushfire. So what about the future, the next 150 years? How will it be characterised and what challenges will we face? How will we support and grow industry to ensure future job creation, especially for our youth? How will we protect our environment while continuing to provide infrastructure as well as the social, cultural and recreational opportunities expected in a fast-growing regional city? How will we plan for future development around our town centres without compromising our unique lifestyle? And how will we honour our heritage and continue to build meaningful relationships with the traditional custodians of this land? These are just some of the challenges future councils and city officers will face. But we're up for these challenges because this is our home too, and collectively we all want the best.